Hello, busy leaders. Want to know the biggest things holding leaders back from exceptional team events and how you can avoid them? Welcome back to The Ultimate Offsite. I'm Chloe Temple, the founder of The Ultimate Offsite, and today we're diving into the top barriers to successful team events and how you can overcome them. In this episode, we'll address the common challenges and share practical solutions to turn these barriers right on their head into mindsets for success. But before then, I want to dive right in and just address one cheeky bonus barrier straight off the bat. That's the belief that you have what it takes to, be that the skill or the experience to run these sorts of events. Well, before we go on, I want to quash that one right away. You absolutely do. Whether you've run events in the past and are questioning how good they were, or you're gearing up to host your first event, we created this channel right here to give you the skills, tips, and tools to smash your team events. In the description, we'll pop useful links to help you do just that. But before you head off, let's explore the official top 3 barriers, shall we? There's generally 3 things that are going through people's mind when they're like, oh, I don't have time, we don't have the budget. And I'll talk about the fact that we have a remote team. So I want to just cover these kind of beliefs a little bit to enable you and empower you to shift past them so that you can create some really great team events. The first is we don't have time. We're too busy, or I don't have time. I'm too busy to really put some energy and attention into that. That's what the reactive team sounds like. Whereas the strategic team sounds like this. If it's a priority, we create the time. If it's a priority, I'm going to make the time. I'm going to create the time. We're going to make this happen. So many of your team are probably operating like this with lots and lots. The to-do list is just never ending. This is the most ridiculous stock image ever. But it's synonymous with how many of your team, I imagine, are feeling. It might be synonymous with how you feel. It's just like, oh my goodness me, there is such a pile here of things to do. And when that is the case, it can be really uncomfortable to go and saying, oh, we're going to take a day out of our hugely busy diaries in order to make this happen. But what if by taking that day out of your diary, you shifted that? You dropped that pile down to here and you were clear on what those important things that you were doing as a team and you left. How much time would that actually save in the long run? How much more effective would the outcomes be in the long run? It could be so tempting to just be like, we don't have time to meet quarterly or even twice a year. How could that mindset shift? The second one is around, I don't have the money or the budget. My mindset around this would be, we're resourceful. If it's important, we're going to find the resources. There's an amazing team that I supported over a year ago, where the leader managed to find budget to fly his team from across the globe to an amazing location in Lake Como to come together for a couple of days to deliver a really incredible session for the team. That organization does not usually do that. That was very unusual for that team leader to have negotiated or enabled or convinced the organization to be able to make that happen. He was resourceful in doing that. And it doesn't mean, though, that you have to have a huge budget in order to make this happen if you can't paint that picture. This is an example of a workshop that I facilitated before I left Racket, where I brought together 4 different organizations, one of our major retailers together, plus 2 other, one of the insight agencies and a media agency, to strategically work on an ideation session that completely changed the relationships actually of all 4 components, and where we left with a really clear result, goal, 3 experiments to try with 1 lead experiment that actually massively shifted the game. Well, certainly for two of the parties. And some of these individuals had never met before. That session was entirely free. I learned how to facilitate myself to enable me to host the session, utilizing the 3 I's, of course. I asked one of them to use their building, and I think they must have put on food. But anyway, the whole event costed us absolutely nothing apart from everyone's time. This is my point is you can be resourceful, you can learn how to do this yourself. And just because you don't have big budgets to be able to go and bring your whole team to Lake Como or get an external facilitator does not mean that it is impossible to do. The third thing often comes up is my team is remote, so we can't really do offsites. I would invite you instead to think, well, we might be based all over, but we need to find ways to connect strategically. I have supported so many teams, including one, like part of the team were in the US, we had part of the team in the UK, and I was actually facilitating it from Australia. It's completely doable. And yes, we all might like to be in the room together, but just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's not important. So there's still ways to find that. And it might be that you can only bring your team together once a year or something like that. Doesn't mean that there isn't opportunity for you to help your team shift out of the reactivity, be more strategic together through these sorts of things. So there's two options that you have leaving today's session. One is you go away and you do it yourself. You learn how to pull together a super amazing offsite. And it's my intent to be able to support you and empower you and as much free resources like today's session as possible. I've curated free guides, checklists, cheat sheets, etc., to be able to help you plan the ultimate offsite. If you go to theultimateoffsite.com/resources, you can get your hands on these sorts of things. There's also loads of other resources. You can read books, you can watch YouTube videos, you can go on courses, you can do trainings as I have done, articles. Don't let that hold you back from going and creating great sessions for your team. Or there's option 2 where you do it with help. And that's not necessarily help from me, but it could look like help from me. It could be internal help as well. If you would like support from me, what I am offering is a free strategy call with anyone who is on this call to dive into your specific challenge, your specific offsite opportunity as a team. And what we will do in that session is get clear on where you are right now, what the opportunity is for you and your team. And you will leave at least with the start of an action plan that you can take away, regardless of whether or not we work together. This is one person, Jenny, who joined for that strategy session. She said she came with a rough idea of what she wanted to do at her next offsite, but left the call with a really clear strategy of how to drive long-lasting value from her upcoming offsites and to build momentum through the year throughout other team events, that she appreciated it and couldn't believe it was free. So these are some of the amazing humans that we have supported, leaders that we've supported, organizations that we've supported. So don't hold back. My main message is your offsite should not be an afterthought. It can be a really strategic tool. If you can wield it effectively, it can be absolutely transformative for your team. And it's my mission to be able to help more people elevate their team events so we can get out of a 6 and shift more towards a 10 collectively. There you have it, the top barriers and 2 solutions for next steps. Whether you choose to do this alone or with help, my hope is that time, money, nor location are going to hold you back from creating seriously powerful moments when your team come together. No matter which option you choose, we are here to help. Again, check out the video description for more details on how, whether you're planning to tackle this completely on your own or seeking help. My hope these resources, strategies, and beliefs will guide you towards success. If you found this video useful, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with more insights, tips to help you lead successful and engaging team events. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you apply these new beliefs to create your own offsite advantage.